Testing. Hello. Definitely Jewish. I'll clear that one up. We're running at about a 99.8% Ashkenazi, 0.2% squirrel. How's it going? Okay, who loves Anne Frank? We got any Francophiles in the house tonight? Oh my God, I love Anne Frank. She's like the Taylor Swift of the Holocaust. You know? Even Kanye's like, I made that bitch famous. I'm like, pretty sure it was her dad. No, I love Anne Frank. I have a renewed love for her because I recently started listening to her diary on Audible. Okay, and like I love listening to books on Audible when it's narrated by the person who wrote it. And like with Anne, it's kind of a bummer. Because it's just some lady, you know? You don't get like the full Anne Frank experience, you know? But you kind of get it, you know? She's young, she's Jewish, she hates her mom, she's obsessed with boys, she's kind of gay. I'm like, oh my God, I am literally Anne Frank. Not me driving down Melrose, blasting the Diary of Anne Frank in my top-down convertible, like, ha ha ha, so funny, and mom is a cunt. Yeah. God, I love that girl. She'd be a stand-up if she were alive today. I'm sure of it. No, I feel like the story of Anne Frank is like heart-wrenching, obviously, you know, as a Jew. But as a writer, I'm a little jealous, you know? I'll always be jealous of a woman who's more successful than I am. Especially if she's younger than me. You know? I've got stacks on Anne Frank. I'm kidding. I don't actually feel that way about her. I don't call her Von Hit Wunder Frank behind her back. So that's the likable portion of my set. Moving on. Is anyone here in a long-term relationship? Yeah, we've got some and do we have any bisexuals in long-term relationships? Yeah, I showed up to talk about the flight of bisexuals with boyfriends, okay? That's what I'm here to discuss. So first unlikable thing that I'm gonna say, and I'm sorry in advance, I did go to Burning Man this year. All right? I did go to Burning Man this year, and for those of you who don't know, that's a city built in the desert for men to go cheat on their wives. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go observe the freak show. Next thing I know, I'm getting a massage from a guy named Tumbleweed. And I look up and there's like a hot guy in a dress and like this sexy lady in lingerie, and they asked to perform Reiki on me. Energy healing, for those of you not from Los Angeles, I don't know. So they sort of rub their hands together and like wave them around me like I'm a 1917 fire in Bolshevik winter, you know? And then expecto Patronum, we're making out. I'm like, shit, I gotta figure out how to tell my boyfriend about this. Not gonna be good. My therapist was like, you had a sexual instinct. All right, I'm like, great, I had an instinct to be a bad person. That blows. He's a fantastic guy. Like I'm a piece of shit. He deserves way, way better than me. You know? Like he's so fucking sweet. When I met him, he worked at a popcorn stand, okay? Do you understand? Like his union was the Lollipop Guild. He was just the happiest little munchkin until he met me. Like before Burning Man, I always like knew I liked girls and like threesomes and shit like that. But I had my priorities straight. And then I went to Burning and now they're like a little bit more bi-curious, you know? It's fucked up. But I do have to say, like, cheating on my boyfriend in the desert did make me feel more connected to my Jewish ancestry. Because the first philanderer was Abraham. Like, if you guys don't know the story of Abraham fucked the nanny, and his wife was pissed, okay? She was like, send them to the desert! And then he was like, babe, it's all desert. And she was like, deeper desert! And that's why we have the Arab-Israeli conflict. You'd think after a few years the families would get back together and be like, hey, love what you did with the compass. Great job with Waze, the Israeli GPS app I know you all love. But not in this fucked up family. To this day, my mother's only piece of marital advice, never hire a hot nanny. It's fucked up. Every time I see a man with a hot nanny, I'm like, have we not seen Spanglish, okay? Keep it in your Vuori pants. You're gonna cause a 6,000-year geopolitical conflict. No, I love my boyfriend. We've been trying to work it out, but like we are hitting that 2-year mark where shit's getting kind of like real, you know? And like my mom's in my ear, like, popcorn's not gonna pay for private school. I'm like, shut up, bitch. I write in my journals in private. You'll never read them. No, but like because I'm a Jew, I was raised to date with my future kids in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to only date international guys and Harvard men, because if I gift my children one thing, it will be a foreign passport or nepotism. You know? And like, because I'm a slut, I used to also date like a venture capitalist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to move fast and break things. I'm like, this man is my Uber, okay? He's integral to my life and never will be profitable. He's a good guy, though. He's a good guy. I was at an open mic kind of like recently. Yeah, sorry, I work on my craft, whatever. I was at an open mic kind of recently, and one of the like hosts like asked the crowd, they were like, are there any stereotypes that you secretly subscribe to? And like everyone was kind of silent, you know, it's like open mic, dark energy. And then this one man like slowly raised his hand and was like, I am French and I like baguette. And then my one black friend bravely raised his hand and he was like, I am black and I like white girls with big butts. And then I was like, I'm a Jew and I want to be filthy rich. I'm a Jew and I want to be filthy rich. I want to find out the hard way that money doesn't matter, and that's on a yacht in Mykonos, okay? Because I know I'm human garbage, but at least then I'd be human garbage floating on a yacht in Mykonos. I think that would soften the blow. Okay, thank you guys. I've been Erica Cantor.